Hey there fellow learners, welcome back to another exciting tutorial in our Unity series. I'm Cherry, your guide in this journey into the world of 2D game development. In this video, we're going to cover the fundamental features that form any backbone of any 2D game. So without any further ado, let's get into the tutorial. I'm gonna start by opening the project we created in the previous episodes. If you don't know how to do that, just go back to the first video, it's pinned in the top right corner. There are also a few useful assets that I mentioned there and I will be using them throughout this series. As you see now, I named that object to player and now I'm going to attach a rigid body 2D component which will allow it to have gravity, aka fall. Since it's a player, I'm going to set the collision mode to continuous, so it will always have collisions. And I am going to set the sleeping mode to never sleep, so it never pauses said collisions. I have the rigid body 2D, but we also need well set collisions, so we need to add also a collider. This is a sphere, so a circle, so I'm gonna add a circle collider 2D. It, as you see, will automatically add the collider. I have now, well, it's not too visible, I'm gonna change the color in the sprite renderer to be gray. Now that it's gray, I can show you better that the colliders are editable, as you see here. This is the collider. And if I hold Ctrl, I edit it by, well, 1 unit, or, well, in this case, double the current size. And if I can simply also just increase the radius using that parameter, but I'm just gonna keep it at default because it automatically set it to be correct. And now I'm going to add also another sprite, well, a square. I'm gonna just press R and scale it, like this, and then E and rotate it. And I place it under our sphere, and now I'm going to add another collider to it. This time it will be a box collider. And like before, it's again scaled properly by default. And now both of our things have colliders, so I can simply just start the game, let it load, and now as you see the ball, aka the player, rolls off the edge. We don't have any player controller yet, that will be, well, taught to you in the next video, because it is a bit more complex, but I will teach you a few ways to do it for a few different types of games. By the way, there is a huge sale going on in the Unity asset store right now, where some assets are up to 50% off, and these assets are actually really good, and I think I will be purchasing some even by myself. These assets have been chosen by Unity affiliates like me, and they are all really good. So if you're purchasing anything, use my link from the description below. It costs you nothing and it helps me out a ton. The next thing we're going to be doing is we're going to be creating a tile map, which will be rectangular, because this is the basic one that I'm going to teach you here. Now as you see, when I created the tilemap object, it is a child of a grid object. The grid is, well, a grid that you will be placing all of your tiles on. Now, the next thing that we need to do is to go into Window, 2D, and Tile Palette. And let's open that. I'm going to put it on the right side along the inspector. As you see, there is no tile palette, so I'm going to just press Create New Palette. I'm going to name it Demo, as demonstration. Create. Now I'm going to create a folder in resources named, well, tile maps, and then going to get a demo. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to go into our graphics folder, and then I'm going to create a tiles folder inside of there, so we can store all of our textures for all of our tiles inside of there. What I'm going to go do now is I'm going to go back to our tile maps folder and the demo folder, and inside of the demo folder, I'm going to go create another folder called tiles. Inside of there, we will store all of our tile files, not the textures, but the tile files itself. I'm going to import a texture with some of the tiles from my own indie game on the Wind's Breath, which you should wishlist using the link down in the description below. Please, it helps me with the algorithm. Anyways, I'm going to import the file and I'm going to show you how to set it up for the tile map. Now, I'm going to place our new texture inside of our map, and as you see, it is kind of blurry, which is definitely not what we want, so I'm going to teach you how to fix that. The first thing you need to do is set the compression filter to none, and the second thing that you need to do is set the filter mode to, well, point none, which is as simple as that. This will fix all of your problems with the blurriness of set textures. Now, when I placed it onto the map, it was just one giant texture, which is not what we want. We need multiple tiles. The way to fix it is we need to go into our inspector of the texture and we need to set sprite type to multiple, hit apply, and now we're going to go into our editor. We're going to go into slice, grid by cell size, and set it to 16 by 16, which is the resolution of our tile. Now we're going to hit apply. Now when I applied, you see that it created a lot of these, well, squares. All of them are, well, your different tiles which were created automatically now. What we gotta know is now we need to hit apply, exit, and hit apply again, and now we can import this into our tile palette. Now importing this into our tile palette is as simple as it gets. You simply drag it onto there and you can just save it there. I'm going to go save it into our tiles folder which we created in the demo folder, and there we go. It's all set now. Now we can just select our paint tool and we can draw it on the map. As you see right now, the tile is the wrong size. What we need to do to fix it is we need to go back to our graphic, which we sliced before into tiles, and now we set its pixels per unit value to 16 because the resolution of our tiles is 16 by 16 pixels. Now we can create a small platform using this tilemap, and now let's hit play. Now the thing that you're gonna see now is that the tilemap doesn't really have colliders. Well, the fix to this is, well, going to the tilemap object and adding the tilemap collider 2D. Now when we're gonna press play, you're gonna see that it does collide now, and there's not much problems with this. Why did I say much problems? Well, just look at this. I'm gonna place some slopes, and you're gonna see that the green outline, which is the collider, does not really match the slopes. Well, there's only one fix to this, and it's manually making these colliders. The way to do it is click the same object that has the texture and go into sprite editor. Then you're gonna follow like I'm doing on screen, so you're gonna go into the custom physics shape screen, and then you can just press generate and you can, well, edit the goddamn collider. Sadly, there's no way to automate this because Unity somehow just doesn't allow this. If you know some way, just let me know, but I did not manage to find a way to do it after research, so, well, yeah. As you see, I haven't edited all of the hitboxes because I also have a sanity that I like to keep. Now, the hitboxes won't work instantly, but as soon as you replay, they will reload and they will work properly now. Now, let's go back to our player, and let's say we do not want it to be a grey ball for some reason. I don't know why I would want that, because the grey ball is perfect in every single way, but sure. Let's just import a red ball with an X in it. It's a good way just to demonstrate. I don't know why I would want that as a player, but I mean, it's just a demonstration. First, I'm going to create a temporary folder inside of our graphics folder. It's going to be called static because the texture will, well, not change. After that, I will insert it into the player by assigning it into the sprite value of the sprite renderer. Now you might see that the texture is a bit differently colored than, well, the original file, and that's because, well, we have a different color inside of the sprite renderer. The way to fix it is simply changing the color back to white. Now, another problem that you will see is that the green outline is not the same as the red player character, aka sprite. To fix this, the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to right click our texture and open its properties tab. I'm going to put it next to the tile palette just for easy access, and then I'm going to select back the player. This allows me to edit the texture and also see the player outline, aka the hitbox. Now I'm going to just manipulate the variable that is pixels per unit, and if I find the right one, I will, well, notice on the screen, and there we go, it's the right one. It's now sized properly. You know, it's blurred again though, and it would be annoying to actually manually set this for every single texture. Well, fear not, I've got you covered. After you set its properties to be unblurred, click on the settings icon in the top right corner of the properties tab and press create new settings preset. Then create new preset and select the folder settings presets that we have created in the first episode. Now to set it to be the default import settings, you need to go into that folder, select the setting preset, and add it to default texture importer settings. Now to quickly demonstrate that it works, I'm just going to import a new texture from one of my projects, and let's just see if it is pixelated. And yes, it is pixelated properly, it is not blurred, so it works fine as you see. And now that I've done a lot of changes, I'm going to do something that's very important. I'm going to organize everything nicely. To do this, I'm going to use the colored headers asset. I've shown you how to install it in the first video of this series. First things first, I'm going to add a new game object and assign the colored header script to it, and then I'm just gonna mess around with the values until I think they're good. And then I'm simply going to, well, assign set objects that are in the scene straight under this. Do not assign anything important to these headers, since the headers are stripped on build along with everything attached to them. excluding children. And a thing that you should do every single time you make some changes is, well, upload them to cloud using the Unity version control. I'm going to open the Unity version control window, which I showed you how to set up again in the first video. You can now see all of the changes that we've made and also a comment box and the check-in button. In the comment box, type everything that we've changed, and then press the check-in button. Now, if you click on the change settings button, you can see all of the changes that we have made in the past, and we can also go back to them. That will be about it for this episode. In the next one, we will basically start doing some coding, and I will show you how to do some basic movement for, well, a few different types of 2D games, a top-down game, and, well, a simple platformer. Anyways, hope you enjoyed. See you in the next one. Bye!